Hi, everybody. Come on in. I'd like to invite you to a very special show. I'm joined with some amazing guests today, and we are going to be sharing with you how to build the foundation to amplify your message. This has been such an incredible year, and we really would like to share with you more on how you can get your message out more. Welcome. My name is Gail Watson. I'm President and CEO of Women Speakers Association, and today I am joined with some amazing people, and these are the women behind the scenes. They are our leadership team, and so I'd like to bring them on screen right now, so come on in. First off, I'd like to introduce you to Tracy Eman. I know you've seen her name around the community. She's the co-founder. She has been with Women Speakers Association since before day one, been a very big special part of this organization and a huge heart. So welcome, Tracy.
Thank you, Gail.
Also, love to introduce you to, as you know, our hostess always with the mostest is Laura Rubenstein, who runs our Premier Woman show and has been an integral part of our leadership team in really helping to get your message out to more people. So, hi, Laura.
Hi.
And of course, Michaela Quilici, who is our Director of Operations for the Global Business Connectors, a group that she has pulled together of some strong women that are really expanding our access all around the world and creating more community. Welcome, Michaela.
Thank you, Gail.
We are at our 10-year mark, and in any business, it's not the easiest feat to accomplish. There's so many ups, downs, all around, changes, everything you can imagine. So I get it. As business owner to business owner right now, I understand. But what I do know is to be successful, we can't do this alone, and it does take team. And while you see 3 of our active team members right now on the leadership team with Women Speakers Association, it goes much deeper than that. And I would just like to acknowledge people like Melanie Benson, another co-founder, Leora Mendeloff, who originally held the vision for Women Speakers Association way back before launch in 2011. It was actually in 2009 that vision was actually born. And Deb Coleman for all the work over the past years. And so many. We have seen so many people over these past 10 years step forward, members just like you, who have stepped forward and really wanted to create Women Speakers Association, just a place where you need to be. So after this year, Laura has been hosting special editions on WSA TV, and these special shows where we were inviting members of past several years ago to recently, and just getting their take and getting their feel, because quite frankly, when Women Speakers Association first started, it was just a name. It was just a name, and it was a place where we didn't want to design it so that you had to fit into it. We wanted it designed in a way that you created it. So the initial stages where those questions went out, what do you need? What do you need? And decisions were made from that. To this day, fast forward 10 years, I'd like to thank you for all your contributions, for all your questions, for stepping up and saying, I want to take lead, and I want to develop this as a community that serves us all. Because one thing we believe in here is you have been gifted with a message. There is no message greater. There is no message less than your message. And we want to even take that further for you to really have you stand in it. So I'd like to, as we continue the conversation, I would love to go around and so that you can hear the vision of each one of our team members here today.
Well, thanks, Gail. I'll be happy to chime in here because Women Speakers Association attracted me because of the vision that you have with a collaborative community, with a place where everyone is equal. where everyone's message really is as important as anybody else's. So, and in today's society, we don't always see the equality happening, but not here in Women Speakers Association. We are more than equal. I mean, we're just here to see the greatness in each other. We are here to help each other, like lift each other up. And that's the vision I have for Women Speakers Association, is that we continue to help each other, knowing that when we do help each other raise our visions, we are more fulfilled. We have more power to our visions for the difference we want to make. So thank you, Gail, for putting this vision into action. And Tracy, why don't you share what your vision is next too for women?
I'd love to. And I love everything that you've both said along the way. It really is about community, about supporting each other, championing each other, and really meeting you where you're at, because we are always changing. And I think that's the other thing that's wonderful about our vision, is that we change, as Gail mentioned. We want to hear from you. We want to be able to change to suit what you need, because we really want to help you succeed. And that's really part of my vision for Women Speakers Association.
Yeah. And Michaela, what is your vision for both women and within the organization, Women Speakers Association?
Thank you, Laura. So my vision really is that for each and every woman, really believe in her message and believe in the impact that her message can have to change the world. And what I love about Women Speakers Association, what attracted me many years ago when I became a member, was I wanted to get clear on my message. I really wanted to be confident in the message and really be able to own the message. And what I found when I initially became a member and got involved in all the various ways of getting involved in the experiences and talking to the other women within the organization, I just found a safe space and just a wonderful place to get clear and just to feel grounded in a space where everyone is in the same place, because our message evolves over the years and it changes and it grows and it moves into different directions as we evolve and as we grow. And so I love that we create a space here for women to do that. We grow together, we evolve together, we're mirrors for each other. And so really that's what my vision is for women and for WSA.
I love that, Michaela. The reinvention and the evolution is our safe space. And given that, Gail, we, Tracy, myself, Michaela, we all have, and even you, Gail, have messages, right? That outside of just being a part of this organization, yes, we're a leadership team, but we all have our impact we're making a difference. And I thought you could shed some light on how are the women, who are these women that come to Women Speakers Association? These are the difference makers out there. I mean, there are so many of them. Maybe you can give us a well-rounded balance of who are we?
Who are we? We are everyday women. We are people, like you said, Laura, we have a message. Now here's the trick part. The tricky part is we need to get that message out. Because when we say you've been gifted with a message, you truly have. It's that voice inside you. It's that fire inside you. And it's unique to you, right? And it's here for purpose. And that's what we really need to understand, is to be able to, so while it can sit in there, it does nothing if we don't share it. So we want to really help you feel strong, to get the courage it takes to get that message out. Now, what we know is when we want to get that message out, and if we're alone, it's really easy to have our self-talk sabotage it by saying, who's going to hear that message? You're not good enough. Who are you to say that? Right? Those are all things I've personally heard myself. And what I know to be true is that when we come together and we surround ourselves with like-minded community, people that all they want for you is to help you get that message out, to get your voice, to use it in the way that is meant for you to use it, it happens. and that it's that simple. I'm always reminded of a saying from I learned as a kid, you're the sum of the 5 people you hang around with the most. It is so true.
Yeah.
So if you're in an environment, which I know some of you are, that maybe you're hearing from, and it's the people that are closest around you that may be saying, oh, don't do that. Now, who's going to listen to you on that? Nobody wants to hear that, right? There's somebody else doing that. And that's your environment you're in. That's okay. But what, for you to flourish, for you to really bloom, you need to get connected to a community that empowers you. And that is a true foundation to get your message out. It is absolutely key. I remember a gold medal Olympian, she's a member here, that Michelle Cameron, she said, no one goes to the podium alone, ever, when they win their gold medal. They go with a team. And that's exactly true. So I want you to envision your message, your personal message. It is your gold medal. And for you to really get it out there in that big way, you need a team. And this is a team that you are part of, that you can be a part of. So that's.
Yeah, and I know you've had so many stories come your way of women just when they're coming into the organization, of the difference they've made in the world, whether they're just producing their first movie, they've gotten out of a really horrific situation in a foreign country, in a country that was under duress. I mean, what are these stories of the women who are coming in and are part? And you just told us about the Olympian, the gold medal winner. Who else do we have here in Women Speakers Association?
We have so many. And for story specific, yes, met women that have survived the killing fields, that ran into the
terrorists,
forest behind their home, yeah, and lived there for over a month. I've talked to women who were in, just some really horrific stories, from abuse as children to abuse to adults, to abuse from their partners, and mental health issues. But you know what? Whatever hand we've been dealt in life, and some people for sure have been dealt really tough hands. What do I appreciate most about these conversations I'm having with these women is they acknowledge, hey, this is the hand I was dealt. It was pretty bad. I could have circled around the drain and gone down the drain. But these are women who didn't. What happened was they found their inner strength. They found that voice, they held on to it, and they got themselves out. Now, not only did they get themselves out, but why they're here today is because they want to share it, because they want to help others. They want to connect with people who are connecting with their stories to help them, so that they don't have to go down the drain, So,
yes.
so while these stories can be really crazy and horrific, these are women who are wanting to share. Now, then there's people like myself starting in Women's Speakers Association, and I was meeting some really dramatic stories. I'm going, wow, I am not worthy to even share a message because I don't have a dramatic story, right? And there is that comparison thing, like, why does someone even want to listen to me, right? Or hear what I have to say? It's and so this is where we get to everybody matters, because we all play a role. We are all a piece of the big puzzle. And in a time when we've just all experienced globally with a pandemic, how our world has responded, how we've all been, we've had to stay apart, we've had to not communicate as, we can't travel that much, and yeah, really felt that, and it was truly isolating. I'm glad things are, getting back, and that's awesome. But it is really isolating. But it's more important. The big message I'm receiving from this time is, one, gratitude for who we are and our message, and to really stand strong in it. But two, the power of community. Without it, I felt it. I was so grateful to have online community. We've always been online, so I was so grateful. And our community only flourished during this past year. So really appreciative of that. And connection is everything. It gets you out of every dark corner.
So Tracy was telling me earlier about a conversation you had with one of our members who also pointed to, like, what's the difference here? Who are the women making a difference? What's happening here in our community?
Yes, it was a great conversation, and it really brought home a lot of what Gail and everyone here has been saying about, people being really authentic here and wanting to help each other in people that are kind of, I think maybe just from being involved, they've sort of brushed that little voice off their shoulder that's saying, you can't do this, you're not worthy, no one wants to hear your message, because we're here to tell you someone out there needs to know what you have to say. They need your message. And it might be one person. And it only has to be that one person, because that residual effect, that domino effect, can be so impactful. So don't lessen your story. You matter, your voice matters. And the connections, we're talking about being aligned with the right people. This person as well, this new member, was also saying, like, she's been on some of the networking calls, and from that, she got like 5 amazing connections that they've just like really helped to build each other up and expand their message and get in front of the right people and just be sounding boards for each other. Because like Gail was saying, like, community, especially, a virtual community that we can all access kind of at all times, just allows us to have someone that is able to support you or provide a little insight, right? Sometimes it's great to get someone seeing things from the outside to give you a different perspective. And it's just community collaboration and knowing that you have a safe place. I don't think there's anything more important than that.
I agree. And Michaela, I wanted to ask you, so if someone wants to make a difference, but they're not clear, or, like, what should they do? Why are the Women and Women Speakers Association able to make a difference even when they're not clear?
Well, it's because of everything we've just mentioned. In terms of, doing it alone is just super hard. And it's when we start to speak our message and write our message and really share our message, whether it's at our global virtual networking events, whether it's writing a chapter in Voices of the 21st Century, whether it's sharing what you do in the online community, and really connecting with one other person, 2 people, 3 people, to really just genuinely share, like Tracy was saying, just being authentic and just sharing from the heart what you're passionate about, what your message is, what your story is, why you do what you do. These questions allow us to really get clear. We can get feedback from people. We can see what resonates, what doesn't resonate, how we feel when we are saying those words, when we are hearing and seeing the looks on our receivers' faces, on how it's impacting them. So I hear, a lot of people say, well, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I need to be clear. I need to have a website. I need to know, what my elevator pitch is. I need to have everything sorted before I can show up. And this is where it's really counterintuitive and really uncomfortable, where really the fastest way we're going to get clear and get comfortable in what that message is to share it. And so we have many different ways to plug in, from a one-on-one conversations to investing in a business spotlight, a 2 or 4 minute business spotlight at a global virtual networking event, where you can really get clear and hone in and get feedback. Was it Ken Blanchard that said feedback is the breakfast of champions? So it's feedback is key, and feedback is golden. And that's something that only can happen when you're in a trusted circle, a trusted community of like-minded, authentic, genuine women, in this case, with Women Speakers Association, where you can feel comfortable with sharing that to get that feedback, to grow and to get filled up and to get more empowered with what that message is.
And I just want to highlight that, when people say, oh, when they hear you say, just show up and share it, even if you're not clear, it's kind of a scary proposition. But I do want to reiterate the safe spaces we like to create, like I like to do with the WSA TV for the Premier Women's Show. We spend the first few minutes before we ever go live coaching women and getting them to a point where they can speak themselves confidently, clearly, and give the best of themselves in just a little bite-sized piece. So we give you like these opportunities to shine in safe ways. And it could be even before, if you're not even ready for that, something like, Gail, your speaker profile reviews calls, where you help people polish up their online presence on the directory so there's just so many ways that I wanted to highlight what all of you said of how we are a safe space to get your message out there, even if you don't know what it is, but there's a difference you want to make, and you have an inkling of where that is. Step into that by coming into a like-minded community or finding that community, whether it's here or elsewhere. But we think we have a pretty good one here at Women's Speakers Association. So I wanted to shift the conversation to some advice for our viewers today to how to actually amplify that message. What could be their next step? Gail, do you want to chime in on that?
That next step is taking the step, really. So as you're listening right now, and I want you to know that you are unique and where you're at is just fine. So in this community, there is place for you. So it could be that you are right now, you want to find that message, right? And then maybe you found it and you really want to own it and you want it to become part of you and you want to get it out, right? Maybe you, and that next step would be I want to start marketing it. Like as Michaela was saying, build that website and start getting it out there and get myself on podcasts. And then I actually want to make some money from it. That's part of it too, right? And then it could be that you're already out there marketing and monetizing that message, and now you really want to take it up higher, leverage and scale that your message into a business. So wherever you are at, I want you to know that you're welcome to join in, because there is place for you. This isn't a hierarchy. It's no one is greater, no one is less. It is simple. Wherever you're at on your journey, we would like to meet with you in that place and walk with you in that place. So, but the big thing is action. And one of the biggest thing on Tuesday, I have calls with new members or people that don't know our community to come in, and we just simply have dialogue. We have conversation. And on that call, I like to just find out who you are, what you're doing, where you're at, and then help create or introduce you to some plans, some ideas to help you get into action, because nothing happens without us going into action, right?
I know I've heard from people who've attended that first call with you, that's like pivotal for them. It changes their whole perspective on their business, on their message. It gives them a launching pad. So I love that advice. And Tracy, what advice do you have for women to amplify their message?
Be yourself. Don't try to be somebody else. It's so important. If you really hold on to who you are and then start building relationships around that, you're going to build authentic relationships. You're going to be able to build out your network, and you're going to be able to share your message with the people that are meant to hear it.
Beautiful. Be you. Right. Be you and we have a new year coming up. Be you in 2022. That's the takeaway there. Okay. So Michaela, give us your best advice for women. How can they amplify their message? What should they do next?
They need to show up. That's step one. So keep showing up. And and keep following up. So one of the things that we've seen and what we've noticed at, for example, our global virtual networking events that happen on the fourth Wednesday of every month, we come together in community. Our global business connectors are leading communities, pulling women together, bringing the global community to the local community and the local community to the global community. And we have these incredible events with breakout sessions. You can come and share who you are, get the visibility, but the visibility, that's step one, show up, get visibility. Step two is follow up, because those relationships take time. They take an investment of just like any relationship does. And so I think this is where some people get discouraged, where they feel like they're showing up from time to time, but then nothing happens. So the key is keep showing up, show up on a consistent basis, and follow up. So we provide an opportunity at these events to walk away with some connections that you met in the breakout rooms, the chat box that is filled with like everybody who's on the call shares who they are and what they do and their contact details. And so my advice is to take that, connect with everybody on social media, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and then select a couple of people, maybe 2-3 people that you really resonated with on the event, on the call, and follow up with them. Set up a connection call, explore the opportunities. It's about connecting, it's about collaborating, but none of that can happen unless you show up on a consistent basis. So that is my best advice. It's very simple, but it works.
It's great advice. And what I love about it is it's also, these networking opportunities are available for the public. You can come and pay for these events, or it's included with your membership. So I love that we're meeting people within the organization, and we're meeting other new dynamic women who may become a part of the organization, or it's just so dynamic and it's so global. And I love that we have originated as a virtual organization from the beginning. So we're really primed for the pandemic. And I know we were trying to go in person, but the pandemic was like, not so fast. So that's cool. So wrap us up, Gail. Give us some inspiration. How can women amplify their message going into 2022?
How can they? The common thread that runs through this entire conversation is first, take a step, come through the door, join into the community, one, right? And then two, get involved, like Michaela was suggesting, and show up as yourself, as Tracy had said. And that's probably the biggest thing right now, is to just be in action. Just take those steps. And you know what? If you don't know what steps to take, then shoot me an email. Let's connect. Let's see what's the best thing for you. What would be the easiest thing for you based on your time schedules and everything and where you're at. Because really what we want to do here for you is to help you find the courage, to give you the strength, to give you foundation, to really stand with you, to help you get your message out. And I'd like to just thank again this team that you're meeting here today, for all the work that they do behind the scenes. There's many more that are involved within publishing, with helping you create your book as a business and have it generate lots of money for you, and people who have built the infrastructure of Women Speakers Association over this past 10 years. We have seen a lot of people, and each person has played a very key role, and it's been stepping stone after stepping stone, and each time it's just been wonderful. So I would like to thank everybody that's been part of leadership within Women Speakers Association. shout out my sincere appreciation for you, because it is because of you that where we're at today. And also to members. We have members here that have been with us since day one, 10 years ago. Amazing. And I love you. It's great. And I'm just so feel so blessed that you want to stay apart and keep creating this space for us of safety, of warmth, of empowerment and growth, right? So covering it all. And I want to thank all of you. So whether you're a member from years back and then the brand new members, oh my goodness, I love you to death. You're just so on fire and it's so much fun. And I want to invite you, if you feel it inside of you and you go, I want to play more, I want to help build, we can do that, because this is a community being together. We are not going to the podium alone. We are going as a team. We want more team. We want you a big part of us. And if you want to, if you're playing big and you want to play bigger and in your business and with who you are with your message, then I want you to join in for sure.
From 2022 and beyond.
Yeah.
Love it. All right. Well, it's been a great year. It's been a great decade. Here's to many, many more incredibly empowering decades for women to amplify their message, make a difference in the world, and have that impact that resonates far and wide. Thank you, team. We'll be back with another episode soon of our Women Speakers Association's premier